Welcome everybody to The Candle Enthusiast. I am your host, Shane Carlson, and this live stream begins a whole new journey for The Candle Enthusiast. All of my future candle content will be hosted right here on my second channel, Aromatically Speaking. Is that a whip? Let's do without that music for now. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you watch me because of my candle content, please subscribe. Hit that button and make sure you hit the little bell icon as well. This way you'll be notified every time I upload a video or every time I decide to go live like today. Now, I'm doing something today that's long overdue. A lot of you folks have sent me emails, left me comments. Some have been kind, some have, haven't been so much. But you've constantly asked me why I do not buy, burn, talk about, produce videos on Bath and Body Works. And I do buy Bath and Body Works candles. Do I buy as much Bath and Body Works as I do, something like a company like Yankee Candle? No, I grew up with Yankee Candle. I just found it easier over the past 3+ years to really talk about Yankee Candle because it's something I'm so passionate about. But all of that's going to change. This year, I really am going to add as much Bath and Body Works content and other candle companies as well. I'm going to try to add as much to my roster of videos for 2020. So if anyone is new to the channel, welcome. Let's get started because I don't want to talk too much and waste any time. And if you're watching this video later and you're like, wow, I don't want to watch this whole video, I just want to see the segments where Shane's actually talking about the candle. In the description below, I'm going to post a little time code so you can skip right to the moment I talk about the specific candles on the agenda today. Let's do it. Are you ready? I'm ready. First thing I want to do is pull you folks up. It's always the first step to this process. And where are you folks? Don't see you yet. But there you are. Okay. And we have a nice full house. Welcome, everybody. We have Doug from Spooky Villages. A huge shout out to Doug of YouTube, or Spooky Villages of YouTube, and Hauling Wax. Nice to see you in the house, buddy. So here it is. We have the bag. I want to be completely transparent here. I bought this about a week ago, week plus, probably more like 10 days. There's 2 candles in here. They are new for 2020, or they may have been released in late 2019. This is where you guys have to help me. I know nothing about Bath and Body Works. This is what is going to be fun for me, is the educational experience, learning a lot, hopefully a lot, about Bath and Body Works and White Barn. But I bought these candles about 10 days ago, and I have not smelled them. I did not smell them in the store. I did not smell them in any other form, like body spray or lotion or anything like that. I simply kept them in this bag. And if you don't believe me, we're just going to have to go on the honor system here. We're going to start off with this one right here. You can see it's still wrapped in the very pretty, what do we call that? Not phosphorescent. You guys know what I'm talking about. Cellophane bag. And we are going to be melting today. If you hear a little crack and pop in the background, it's because we are going to be breaking out the Aroma Prison. And if you don't know what the Aroma Prison is, folks, just hang out. I'll show you what it is. So I'm going to smell these cold, but I'm also going to be melting the wax as well. Let me put this down here so we don't have to listen to that sound for right now. All right, let's take this out. How is everyone doing? Has everyone recovered from Super Bowl Sunday? Look at that. You know, you feel bad throwing these things away. So, am I right or wrong by saying this is a candle that a lot of folks are talking about? It's nowhere near like, this is not news. This has been around for a while now. A lot of people have talked about it on YouTube. A lot of people have been posting photos of it on Instagram. Based on its name, I had to choose this one. We have strawberry pound cake. Let's see if we can get focused today. It's hard, see? I have a second camera that I'm going to be using shortly, so I can just bring it down here and show you. But we're going to stick with this for today. This came in several tumblers. This one is baby pink. It's got the nice Art Deco strawberries on there. Some are sliced, some are not. A white aluminum lid. We all know Bath & Body Works, I think, except for me. 3-wick vegetable soy blend wax. And I haven't looked at the fragrance notes. They're right there. I'm trying not to focus on that at the moment, but I will read all of the fragrance notes after I give my initial evaluation. That's not the one I want. I'm trying to show you a photo, and it is... Hang in there with me here. Whoa, whoa. Let's do this. I'm going to... There we go. Let's just do that for now. Strawberry pound cake, strawberry pound cake, and you can read a Bath & Body Works description right there. But that's just because I can't get a sharp focus on the camera. All right, so let's bring this back to me. Let's do it. Again, first time sniffing this candle, and I am going to melt this in just a little bit. Not to create the suspense here, but when I walked into White Barn, when I bought this, they may have had a burning. I'm sure they did. But with all of the hundreds, if not thousands of candles on the shelves, I could clearly smell strawberry pound cake in the whole store. So I think that's saying a little bit about this candle's intensity. I'm just going to go willy-nilly here. I usually like to organize my descriptions into categories, but you know, we're going live here, so I can't do that. So a lemon meringue pie, not meringue, lemon meringue pie, that gelatinous lemon, even lemon custard smell coming through, which makes sense because a pound cake is going to have that essence of lemon, that lemon zest. Or it could be in the ingredients. We might as well talk about the strawberries now. There's very distinct categories of strawberries, just like there is of any fruit or any item. You know, you can talk about a fresh strawberry. You could talk about an artificial strawberry. You could talk about a candy strawberry. You could talk about strawberry jam, cooked down strawberry compote, very warm, thick strawberry aroma. The first thing that I noticed when I smelled this, and it's not me observing the candle, it's my mind doing the work. It's bringing me back to a young child. My father, although a Culinary Institute of America chef, would make strawberry shortcake, but he wouldn't use fresh strawberries. He would use frozen strawberries. My dad just loved, he had one of those huge freezers, and he would order like these massive orders of frozen food like twice a year, and he had the bags of frozen fruit. So that smell of frozen strawberries, when you thaw those out, and they're all like kind of like soggy, they're very soft and gooey, and they're sitting in their own juices. You know, that thick syrup, that reconstituted strawberry smell. That is such a very specific kind of strawberry. It smells nothing like a fresh strawberry. Fresh strawberry is bright. It's has a little bit of a floral aspect to it. Has a little bit of an herbaceous side to it, and it has more perceived acidity. Where this reconstituted strawberry is much more of a perceived sweetness and concentrated. And going off of that of the strawberry shortcake thing. Now, I'm not talking about the sponges. This little sponge cakes that use for strawberry shortcake. We could talk about that, especially because getting a little bit of that lemon vanilla cake thing, that sponge cake, angel food cake, a little bit, as long as it has something like a fruit dressing on it. But I really want to talk about the biscuity quality of this. We have the cake, but if we've took Bisquick and you made strawberry shortcake in that fashion, that's what I'm getting. That really rich, all-purpose flour, a little bit of the saltiness from the baking soda, and it has a little bit of the dry ingredients. On top of that vanilla sponge cake, or just vanilla cake. And we have to talk about the cream here. We have to talk about, is this frosting? Is this buttercream? Is this, whipped cream, heavy cream? Is it more dairy? Is it more confectionery? What is it? Well, for me, and I wish I didn't have to use this descriptor all the time, because I think it's a really cool descriptor. It's very specific, but this one definitely suits it more than some of the other times I say it. Cool Whip. We can talk about dairy in just a little bit, but Cool Whip is essentially just confectioner's sugar, vanilla extract, egg whites whipped together, and it has that nostalgic, for me anyway, that nostalgic aroma. The smell of it is it's synonymous with light and fluffy. Not rich and savory, but light, fluffy, and sweet. And this might have to do a little bit with the wax, but I'm getting this eggnog thing too. So there is, I'm kind of crossing over a little bit. We talked about the egg whites, getting a little bit of this eggnog, but there is that dairy component element side to this candle. Now let's talk about the intensity. Now, just smelling this cold, it's pretty intense. I mean, I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit more intense based on how much I was smelling it in the store. But, you can never really tell the intensity of a candle completely or for sure just by smelling it cold. And because Bath & Body Works, their proprietary blend wax actually has its own aroma to it. The wax actually, it has a smell, where paraffin wax really doesn't. I'm not sure if that is adding to this eggnog thing, or if the eggnog is a part of the mixology of this candle. Has anyone burned this candle? Now's the time to really share your thoughts on this fragrance. Usually I don't say whether or not, I don't really share my opinion as far as I like it or I don't like it. This is something I would burn. This is something I wouldn't burn. But I think I've kind of already alluded to that this name, and because I've jumped back so much into my memory with the strawberry shortcake, and everybody has nostalgia when it comes to cake. I mean, all of the special occasions in our life are celebrated with cakes, right? And strawberry stands. I was out in Napa Valley. You'd we drive by on the side of the road, and you'd get a brown bag of strawberries, and they'd be so ripe and so juicy that they would actually, the juice would be seeping through the brown bag. I mean, it looked like you were carrying like a human heart inside this bag because it looked like blood. But so many pleasant memories that this candle is bringing back. Beautiful. I enjoy this one. I enjoy this one cold. So let's melt this one up. What we're going to do is I'm going to take, usually I measure 5 ounces of wax, but that's usually with paraffin. I really don't know how much to use for Bath and Body Works. So I'm just going to I'm going to eyeball it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slice a little bit of this wax. Don't have a panic attack. I know I'm ruining a brand new candle, but I'm just going to take a nice healthy chunk of this wax. And I don't need much. That might even be too much. I'm going to take that, I don't know, maybe that's 3 grams. That's really hard to tell by weight. And I should wipe this knife off, but I'll do that in a moment. This is what we're going to do. We're going to close that wax. Some of you are really probably confused. We're going to close this mason jar nice and tight. And down here I have a hot plate and a little saucepan filled just a little bit with some water. I'm not going to get this to a rip-roaring boil, but I'm going to sink this mason jar inside, letting this wax melt, trapping all of the airborne fragrance inside of this mason jar. So when it's all melted, I can unlock this jar, smell it, and not smell the candle cold, but smell how this candle would smell if you burned it in your living space. That's the theory anyway. This is something I've always done for years and years and years. I introduced it to the Candle Enthusiast channel a couple of years ago, and you guys are always asking me to bring it back. So let's do it. So that's melting up. I'm going to put this one aside. Strawberry Pound Cake by Bath and Body Works. Great for Valentine's Day. Guys, don't be afraid of the pink. Pink is a pretty cool color. Embrace it. Don't be afraid of it. But there are other vessels that this comes in. So I'm going to put this aside, and then we're going to work on another candle while this strawberry pound cake is melting. How does that sound? Just checking the comments here. I'm late, but started from the beginning. Was at my oral surgeon. Oh, God, I hope everything is okay. Very syrupy, not a word. I would use syrupy any day, Lou. And okay. Okay, you have to help me out with, just joined in, which candle, SPC or US? Guys, Bath & Body Works, you have to teach me here. Let me know what you need to see. Second candle on the list, we have, let's pull this up so I can see myself, Unicorn Sprinkles. Now this one is interesting because I have no frame of reference other than, well, I've had some sprinkles in my lifetime. But on the label here, we have donuts. You know, kind of like these Homer Simpson retro 1990s colors. Looks very much like, it reminds me of Homer Simpson. Let me take a close look here. Pink frosting, blue frosting, definitely tons of sprinkles. Let me give you guys a closer look to what to the label here. Yeah, so you see what I'm saying? Definitely a retro feel, and the white portions of the jar there have this nice texture. It almost feels like sheetrock. Can you see that texture? It's really nice. It adds, you know, it's little details like this that I geek out about, because it adds it adds to the overall experience, the packaging. But also what's great in my mind about Bath & Body Works is that the candles come in their own display. You know, a Yankee Candle, for example, you don't have to, but you put them in a jar, a candle holder, a hurricane. What's cool about Bath & Body Works and White Barn is that they have their own vessels. You know, sometimes the light shines through, sometimes it creates silhouettes, sometimes it casts light on the wall or on the ceiling. So a definite plus for Bath & Body Works and their tumblers and their aesthetic designs. So Unicorn Sprinkles. And again, that strawberry pound cake, I'll read the fragrance notes in just a little bit. But let's get this. Gotta keep my eye on this puppy. Gotta smell this candle. Okay. Gotta prepare myself a little bit more than I was. Okay, I'm gonna start easy because I need to find what it is that I'm smelling. But I have to hurry up because it's flashing through my mind. So saltwater taffy, that, again, you can't smell what I'm about to say, but smelling this, you would perceive that if it was a candy, this would have this, soft mouthfeel, a nice, chewy, gummy, not gummy, but chewy saltwater taffy, or maybe like warm Starburst, a little bit more of a choo-choo to it. Choo-choo? So this is going in a tropical fruit direction, and the ones I feel I can, say with certainty is a combination of honeydew melon and cantaloupe. A little bit more cantaloupe than the honeydew melon. Blueberry, some blue fruit. So not just blueberry, but plum. Really nice mixture of sweet and tart. This is a refreshing candle so far, right? The last candle is definitely more of a savory thing. This, to me, I want to, if this were a food, I would want to have it in the form of candy or a beverage. Papaya, which worries me a little bit, and I'll tell you why in just a moment about tropical fruit. some people, maybe I'll just say it now, some people respond weirdly to tropical fruit aromas. Sometimes, I mean, just to be completely transparent here, sometimes people, tell me, or sometimes I can even perceive it myself. They're like, it smells, tropical fruit smells a little bit like BO, or it smells a little bit too funky to me. And it's hard for me to criticize that in a candle because tropical fruit can be a little funky sometimes. It doesn't smell like BO, but some people, their minds, I'm not saying anything bad about these people, but their minds go in that direction because of the associations. But it definitely has this exotic tropical fruit. I want to get a little bit more of these tropical notes without just going down a list of tropical fruits. We'll get to the citrus in a moment. Papaya, honeydew melon, cantaloupe, definitely the cantaloupe. Maybe we'll move away from the tropical fruit for now, because I could say star fruit, I could say dragon fruit, I could say passion fruit. I'm not going to do that. I could, and they all could be in here, a tropical fruit cocktail, but there's other fruits to mention. Stone fruit, like peach, nectarines, apricots, plums. A little bit of a peachy nectarine action here. Not peach schnapps, not a super ripe peach, but not a nectarine that's really tart and not juicy at all either. Not, I don't know, I was going to say not canned peaches, but maybe that's a good way to explain it, to kind of split the difference. There's a little bit of this syrupy, the peaches we get in the cans, and that's not bad at all. That's a really nice smell because the fruit has kind of oxidized a little bit, enhancing its flavor. By the time it gets canned, the fruit has had time, it's interacted with oxygen in the canning facility, so it has a little bit more of these oxidative qualities. It's just like when an apple turns brown when you slice it. It looks gross, but it's those brown apples taste amazing because that oxygen unlocks the flavors and the aromatics. So let's say canned peaches, and then we have to go to citrus. I want to say mandarin orange. Every time I'm not bold enough to say mandarin orange, that's what's on the label. But we could go in a couple directions there. We could go clementine. We could say tangerine. I don't necessarily get that. But the most important thing to mention isn't which specific kind of fruit. What's important to mention is the perceived tartness. This is not just a sweet candle. This is a tart candle. And I know, guys, we can't smell sweet and tart. But when we smell something, we can, deduce that if we were going to eat it, that it would be tart. I'm not going to eat this candle. Although maybe we'll do that for another episode. So the reason why I want to bring that up is because when you're making cocktails, when you're making wine, when you're making candy, all of these candy makers, beverage makers, they're trying to find the perfect balance of sweetness to acidity, whether that be malic acid, citric acid, lactic acid. And when there's that balance, it triggers something in the brain, and it says refreshing, refreshing, refreshing. And that's what's happening to me in this candle. To me, this is typically what we would see as a beachside, poolside candle. You have a pink lemonade by the poolside, or, you're taking a cruise to the Caribbean islands and you're sitting out on the deck or out on the beach and you're drinking a cocktail. This is the kind of aroma in the language of aromas, or in the language of scented candles, this typically would be packaged as like, tropical sun showers, if I can give this a name. So my point is, I don't really smell sprinkles. I don't really smell cake. I don't smell cinnamon sugar. Vanilla extract, there's always a possibility to that. We'll melt it and find out. But for the most part, this is a refreshing summertime, springtime candle. Doesn't mean you only have to burn it in the springtime or summertime. If it's the dead of winter and you want to escape to your own private island, this candle will help you get there. To feel that sun on your face, to feel that warm sun underneath, or the warm sand underneath your feet, and that nice cooling breeze. Banana just came to mind. It's one of those possibilities, but we could sit here for days and just throw fruit. So let's put this into its own jar. And after we do that, we can smell the strawberry pound cake that is now fully melted. Just want to clean this knife so I don't get any residual smell. Wow, this wax is so soft. Look how easy it is to just break a piece of that out of there. I know some of you folks are like, this is a sin. And maybe it is. But it's all for entertainment and educational purposes. I assure you. Unicorn sprinkles. What would unicorn sprinkles smell like? It's funny how, like, whenever we want an aroma candy to feel fruity and mythical and childlike, we always put that I was going to say adjective, but that noun, unicorn, in the title. Why is that? Because of all the, my pretty ponies with the rainbow colored hair. That's nostalgic. There is a retro. I don't know. It's something I didn't come into this expecting to say, but it's definitely a 90s retro feel, late 80s, 90s retro feel. So we have that small amount of strawberry pound cake in the mason jar. So I don't want to just stick my nose right into this, because as soon as I open this, it's going to, right? But all of the fragrance oil, not all of it, but hopefully most of it, is now been volatilized. Like that word, volatilized. If you want to put that extra syllable in there, it's up to you. I won't judge. But what that means is the fragrance oil is no longer in a liquid state like it was in the wax. The liquid embedded into the wax. Now it's in a vapor state. Just like when you melt a candle. I'm like, I can't smell it. I can't smell it. The lid is still on there. Whoa. Wow. Wow, that lemon meringue, that lemon tart is really coming through now. And I'm getting a whole lot more of like, not graham cracker crust. I mean, you could say graham cracker crust, but the lemon tarts, the crust on the bottom, the crispy, crumbly crust. More of that vanilla, that rich, exotic vanilla bean is coming through. The intensity still is at a solid, for Bath and Body Works, I'm going to classify this as a medium, which is great, because Bath and Body Works, this is the confusion. Why I personally don't use the word throw is because, the word throw, because you can have a mild or a medium minus intensity candle that spreads and carries all throughout the house. Whether you're one room away or you're standing right above the candle, it'll never be too intense. Those two, intensity and how far the fragrance travels, they're not related, at least not completely. And we have to remember that. So throw doesn't mean I can smell it in the kitchen, the candle's in the living room, so when I go into the living room, it should smell stronger. Yes, but no. I feel like when a candle is way too intense, whether it be up close or far away, for me personally, this is my personal opinion, guys, it just feels like I'm breathing in, the fumes of the candle. I feel like I'm breathing in strawberry pound cake. And that's not happening here. I feel like this is a nice medium. If we were talking something like Yankee Candle, this would definitely be a medium plus, even high. I might even go high. But for a Bath & Body Works candle, this is a solid medium. And now that those richer bass notes are kind of, I'm becoming desensitized. My nose is becoming desensitized to them. I'm starting to smell those top notes, which is a great thing because that means those top notes, when you light the candle, aren't going to be apparent and then just disappear. Does that ever happen when you burn a candle and you're smelling all these bright, citrusy, tart berries, really bright flowers? And then suddenly all you can smell is sandalwood after a while, because those top notes can, in some cases, not last as long. If you dip into the world of cologne and perfume, and if you know about cologne and perfume, you'll know a little bit more about this. You put cologne on, and after time, or perfume on, after time, during that dry down process, the aroma changes, and in some cases actually interacts with your skin, the chemistry of your skin. But the top notes are hanging out. That strawberry is still very bright. And it's completely solidified at this point. So I would say a little bit of that dairy, that eggnog thing I was getting, I can't say for sure. I would really need to burn this candle because, our nose becomes desensitized really quick. But I'm not getting that as much as I was smelling it cold. So maybe that was the wax I was smelling. So it's kind of a good point to bring up. Be careful when you're smelling Bath & Body Works. Try to, do the good old-fashioned smell the lid. Because when you smell that wax straight up, sometimes you smell this shea butter, cocoa butter. It seems silly to say it, but waxy smell. You smell in the wax. Or a big one is Elmer's glue. Do you ever smell a candle and you're like, this smells like Elmer's glue? It's the wax. A lot of the same ingredients are probably in the wax as Elmer's glue. And one last thing about this, and something that I find to be a staple with Bath & Body Works, is that when you have a candle like strawberry pound cake, it's literal. Sometimes it's, like we see donuts on here and sprinkles. I didn't smell donuts or sprinkles, but it smells like something very specific. But what Bath & Body Works does, you get the literal. You get that cake, you get that pastry, you get that baked goods, all the confection, all of the dry ingredients. But you're also getting a little bit of this, I'm trying to think of a good word for this. Let's just go with perfumey. This perfumey quality where it's subtle, but just enough where if you wanted to wear this, you take their fine mist sprays or their lotions and you wear it. It has that perfume thing to it. So it doesn't just smell like you walked out of a bakery. it actually smells like a fragrance. And that's something that I think Bath and Body Works really does, and does well. That you get the literal ingredients, but you're also getting a body fragrance, a nuance to it, just enough where it makes up for the difference for it being a home fragrance, or I guess a body Bath and Body fragrance, which I guess makes sense. Bath and Body Works. Let's read the fragrance notes on this strawberry pound cake. Fresh strawberries. So you see that I will stick to my word there. I mean, that's why I don't read the fragrance notes, guys. I could smell fresh strawberry, but for me, there's a much better way to classify it. Golden shortcake. So I guess that's like a golden brown, cake, which I did talk about. And whipped cream. I said Cool Whip, but that is certainly close enough. With essential oils. I wish there was a little bit more, and they don't really have a poetic description, or maybe they do. In the comments below, let me know if I'm missing something. Strawberry pound cake. This is up my alley. I will be burning this candle. I am happy with that purchase, but are you? I know a lot of you folks bought it, so let me know. I go back over these lives, and I read all your comments, these live comments. And I see you guys are talking about what you're burning, which is great. Unicorn sprinkles, only sniffed it in store. Smelled like sweet tarts to me. More tarts, sweet tarts. I love you for that comment. And it just so happens that your name is Love7. But what about unicorn sprinkles? How are we doing on time? I want to make sure we're doing a good on time here. It's a good time to just plug a few things, folks. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button one more time, just in case anyone missed it. All of my future candle content is going to be on this channel, Aromatically Speaking. And my main channel, The Candle Enthusiast, is going to have all of my travel videos, all my destination videos, and stuff that I put a little bit more work into as far as editing and crafting videos. This is going to be the new home of all candle content. If you haven't already, make sure you give a thumbs up, and we'll plug a few things later, but I know you guys want me to give this a sniff right now. Unicorn Sprinkles by Bath and Body Works. Wow. Gooseberry. Do you know what a gooseberry is? Some of you do. I use it from time to time. New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. If you've had New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, you don't know what a gooseberry is, but you'd be familiar with what I'm smelling right now. Oh man, there's a little bit of like a blue. How appropriate, the icy slushy. There's like a blue raspberry kind of smell, like a artificial fruit. And I may have used a little bit too much wax in this one. That tells you how little amount of wax you need to use. I'll learn from that mistake next time. Mango skin. And this is where I start geeking out, guys. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Mango skin. When you slice a mango or a papaya, and you don't get all that skin off, and you eat a slice, and then you get a little piece of the skin still on there, you're like, whoa, that's a really fragrant, pungent flavor, and the aroma rushes up your nasal passage. I'm making it sound bad. It's not, because it's balanced in here. But there's a little bit of that, not a little bit, it's really coming through, that mango skin. But it's definitely confirming my cold analysis, more so than the strawberry pound cake. Meaning, smelling this candle cold is almost identical to smelling this. Only it's more intense. It's more intense than the strawberry pound cake. Again, this is not a review, guys. This is an evaluation. And what evaluation, the difference between a review and evaluation means? Spend some time to think about it. And some green vegetation notes too. This is good. Not only are we smelling the tropical fruit, but now we're kind of like we're in the jungle. We're kind of smelling the green of the leaves, the chlorophyll. And this now a concept is starting to come to mind. Can't help it. Unicorn sprinkles, tropical fruits. We're in a tropical area. Imagine big trees and a jungle-like forest with bananas and stuff. And imagine, just this unicorn. I'm reaching here. But imagine that unicorn in this fantasy-like setting. Green as far as the eye can see, but also the trees loaded with fresh fruits, peaches, nectarines, apricots, citrus fruit. I hope mandarin is in. I hope mandarin. Oh man, if it is, I'll be okay. But if it is, I'll be happy. Because this is definitely, to me, a very authentic mandarin orange. I really like breaking out the Aroma Prison because it confirms a little bit about what this candle will do when it performs. And a lot of you guys want to see me do this, so I'm going to be doing this a whole lot more, just more frequently. And let's read the fragrance notes of Unicorn Sprinkles. No. Boom. Okay, there it is. Fluffy cotton candy. Okay. Yes. Rainbow candy drops. Rainbow candy drop. Like gumdrops? I don't know. Help me out there. Rainbow candy drops. None of these sound tart so far. Sugared lemon. The description is really pounding on the sweetness, and I'm so glad. I'm seeing two things that I like here. That Love 7 is saying it smells more tart. I'm glad someone else is saying that, because to me this is a tart machine. This is candy. This is tart stuff. This is not on the sweeter side. Yeah, there's sweetness there, but again, like I said, it's about that balance, and the tartness is coming through more. And then Joseph, nice little shout out to Joseph, is saying, sounds good in the summertime. My favorite is Bahama Breeze. Joseph is referring to Yankee Candle's now retired Bahama Breeze. It's kind of hard to tell if they're truly retired, because sometimes they'll just randomly come back. But Bahama Breeze, Joseph, as soon as I smelled this candle, I thought two candles from Yankee Candle, Bahama Breeze and Luau Party. And then, what was the other one in 2017? Coconut something fusion. Coconut pineapple? Nah, that's not coconut pineapple. Coconut something fusion. That was kind of a tough one to get. It was It's kind of not exclusive to Bed Bath & Beyond, but it's really where you found it. It was 2017, summer, spring. But those three candles, really what my mind thought of, especially Bahama Breeze, because Bahama Breeze has that melon forward aroma, and a lot of people love it and a lot of people hate it. And when they hate it or they dislike it, it's because their nose is doing that tropical funkiness, that like it's picking up on that funk. But again, we can't hold that against the candle because that's authentic to the actual fruit. One thing I can suggest, if you want to train your nose, you want to train your palate, if you want to become a sommelier, if you just are fascinated with your senses, go spend time at farmers markets, even just your local grocery store that supplies, higher quality produce, and just buy fruit that you're not familiar with, or fruit that you think you're familiar with, but you're really not, or fruit that, you need to brush up on. These are great ways to train your nose, train your palate, but also just to open and expand your horizons as far as like different foods, but the subtleties between something like clementine tangerine and an orange or mandarin orange. There's varieties of fruit, and there's many ways you could prepare those fruits. So the more specific you can be, the better. I don't mean to be teaching a course here. I'm just trying to explain a little bit of why I geek out. This has been great. So Unicorn Sprinkles, Bath & Body Works. This is what's going to be important, guys. In the description, or not the description, in the comments below, classics, new fragrances, anything, Bath & Body Works, you want me to evaluate. It doesn't even have to be a candle. I want you guys to start like putting in votes, because the more I keep hearing things like, Shane, you got to do this one, you got to smell this one, the more I hear about one specific candle, or the one that I never heard of that before, I gotta try that, or ones that have really cool names. I will start sourcing out those candles. So it's up to you guys. I got my hands on the wheel, but I need your help. Coconut Guava Fusion. Thank you very much, Costa, for that. Guava was probably a descriptor I could have used on Unicorn, but I did not. I'm trying to look at... Can someone tell me what time we're at here on the live as I do a few things? Huge shout out to the folks at the Candle Enthusiast Facebook group. I haven't been doing a lot of videos, and so I haven't been able to promote them. This is not my show. I'm on there frequently, but I do not run this group. But the folks who do such a great job keeping this Facebook group a fun place to be. I'm not a Facebook person. I'm really, really not. There's no reason rather than maybe I'm working on a film, or I'm doing something for the Candle Enthusiast. I'm never on Facebook for myself personally. I just don't do it. I call my friends, I call my family. I just don't do the Facebook thing. However, the Facebook group has really changed that. We've collected such a great, wonderful group of people who all have common interests, but many of us have very different interests, and it's always fun to see what other people are passionate about. When Halloween time comes around, we see Doug from Spooky Villages setting up, his villages. Philly Candleman from YouTube, he goes to floral shows. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but he's a big flower guy, and he's so knowledgeable when it comes to this stuff. So it's great to see other people's interests. House decorations, interior design, hobbies, We have painters, artists, musicians. So swing on over and request a joint. It's a family-friendly place. We want to keep it that way. So as long as you can keep it family-friendly, we'd love to have you. But more so than just that, this is a great place to keep up with not only what I'm doing, but more importantly, it's a place that just really, it's a great group of people who know their stuff about candles. You want to know when a candle's coming out? Where can you buy a candle? You want to know what year a candle was initially released? You want to know about other news in the candle industry? The Candle Enthusiast Facebook group is the place to go, because there's not just me. I don't really know anything compared to the folks on there, but just about a handful, or at least somebody will be able to answer a question that you have, especially when it comes to like candle care and stuff like that. So a little plug for the Candle Enthusiast Facebook group. We all have Facebook profiles. We do. So swing on over. And with that said, make sure, let's show you guys real quick. I want to show you, because we may know that YouTube is doing, it's not their fault. We won't get into this conversation, but something has happened to family-friendly content this year, starting in January. And it's really putting a huge burden on creators who are producing family-friendly content, meaning financially. When you see those ads and you skip them, those ads, you're watching those ads because a portion of the money that those advertisers are giving to Google or YouTube is going to creators. But because family-friendly content is being slammed, a lot of the revenue is being reduced. So in order to creatively fund future videos, this stuff I can handle, but when it comes to traveling and doing my annual trips, we're talking hundreds and thousands of dollars that I put into these videos. And so any little donation helps. In the description below, there's anonymous ways if you want to donate through PayPal. But, might as well buy something like a t-shirt or a hat or a hoodie, something along those lines. And I just want to show you real quick. I'm going to be creating many more designs, but here are some that are available. This is our brand new design. And you can customize the colors. You can customize, if you want hoodie or a shirt or a specific kind of fit or a premium cotton. There's aprons, there's mugs, there's totes, there's just about everything on here. You can pick your design and customize it. And really, it's a very affordable price. It's a great way to support me, but more importantly, you're putting money, you're investing money, like a film producer. You're investing money into me being able to go out and create more videos like Santa's Village or Sleepy Hollow, New York tours, Disneyland videos, all of these places, all of these wonderful cities that have all of these great attractions. I want to go and I want to document it, and I want to do it in my own way. I don't want it to be like the Travel Channel. I want to do it my own way, and that is my dream, my goal. And so any help, you might think $1 or $2 is not going to do anything. Trust me, it does. Patreon.com is a great way to receive rewards. PayPal for anonymous or not anonymous donations or pledges. But Spreadshirt.com, all of the links are going to be found in the description below. I just wanted to plug that and be a responsible YouTuber. You have to do this stuff. And Blend It Like Brian is saying, yay, I'm glad the Trick or Treat, the Halloween shirt, is still available. It is. I'm going to be working on new Halloween shirts for this year. Obviously, it won't be for a while. And did somebody tell me how many minutes we were at? Or that's not good grammar. Thanks for all the hard work, Candle Enthusiast Facebook group. We have children and family members with special needs and just do not have time to sync up on social media. Love your coverage, Shane. Thanks so much. This is coming from our family. They've always been a big supporter of myself and the Candle Enthusiast channel, but it really has always been important to me that the content that I produce is not just family friendly, but it's actually family content. Gather around in the living room and put something fun on. These are the kinds of videos I want to make. So it really does mean a lot to me to hear that. Thank you very much. You may have already done this one, but Bath & Body Works Blueberry Pie, I haven't. Everyone was buying that, right? Because that was like $10. And perhaps compare it to Bath & Body Works Blueberry Sugar. So that's an excellent idea there for an episode. Taking two candles, do like a wrestling match, a boxing match, a bout between two candles. Not really saying which one's better, but doing a little compare and contrast, because I'm all about the small subtleties. I really try to dig deep. It's been 60 minutes, perfect timing. Thank you so much for giving me the heads up. Again, if you haven't subscribed, do that now. I have lots of candle content coming up, and if you don't believe me, I'm finally taking your advice. A lot of people are like, why aren't you doing Yankee Candle's spring and summer lines? I was thinking about I was thinking about, doing other candle companies. But, let's face it. I feel like I'm synonymous with Yankee Candle, and I need to talk about Yankee. So I have all of the 11 fragrances that are new for 2020. Is it 2020, 2020? But also including, I can't wait to get to this. And guys, I'm kind of lying. I did give this a quick sniff, but I have not evaluated this in my own time. This is the scent of the year, Yankee Candle Awaken. And it comes in this beautiful, this house warmer jar with, it's gorgeous. Even has this little cardboard protector, which, Yankee, if you're listening, do this with all of your candles. This will prevent so many people from touching the candles in the stores. I hate that. I hate it. And if you pull this out, you'll be able to tell someone has tampered with it. So a little tip for you, Yankee, if you're watching. I know you're not, but one day you're watching. But you see how it has this textured glass. Absolutely gorgeous. It looks like this mid-century, tableware, glassware. And I don't know if I'm getting the proper light, but it kind of shimmers and shines. I can't wait to see a flame inside there. So although many people have talked about this, I know Doug, I don't know if you have, but I know Philly Candleman really jumped on this quick and made a video. So if you need to know, and you need to know now, I'm going to send you over to Brett to check out this candle, and a bunch of other folks who have evaluated or reviewed this candle. But I'm going to make a whole video on this. I'm going to smell it cold. I'm going to melt it. I'm going to see how far the aroma spreads, how far it carries, evaluate the intensity of this aroma. I'm going to do like an in-depth complete, most scientific and fun, hopefully, scientific evaluation of this candle, more so than any other candle I've ever done on any of my other videos from over 3.5 years. So please, well, not please, but hang around, not hang around. Keep your eye open would be the correct way to say that. Keep your eyes open for that video. Be coming up soon. That will be an edited video, but I will be doing lives, and it'll all be here on Aromatically Speaking. Please leave me comments in that area down below, especially when this video gets uploaded, and I'll hopefully get back to all of them. I'm going to start really trying my best to get back to answering all the comments. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I will read the whole live chat discussion, and if there's any questions that come up, I will certainly reach out to you. Thank you for joining, and I will be seeing you guys soon. But until then, be good, would you? Will you? Would you? Could you? Is what I want to ask. See you soon, guys.